A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. I'm Yemi ADEWOYE. Well, tonight on the show, we will be talking mini football. It's another side of football that is very interesting and is spreading like wildfire. So we'll talk about that as we go on the show. We will also give you a slice of some of the other sports making the rounds and the preseason tournaments in Nigeria. We will also look at club football, talking about CAF competitions, Nigerian teams involved, both the male and the female. So that's the outlook of the show. Tonight, we urge you to sit back, relax, as we take you on the trip. As you already know, it's a two-man show. My colleague, Austin Okonakman, is suited and ready as we take you along on this ride across the body spinning world of sports.
What a great things to you, and of course our viewers joining us from all over the world. Still an action-packed world of sports. England is buzzing again, and that's because the Premier League is back. While we're counting down also to the Paralympic Games, just about days. Paris will feel some magic again, where some para-athletes will come together and make us feel the power of sports. Nigeria will compete in that one in 4 events. And our athletes are right there in Germany getting ready. Some bit of issues here and there, but we'll try to stay focused till the competition is done, and then we'll find a way to do a proper assessment on the Olympics and the Paralympics. And I'm also excited about the discussion on mini football. We've said that there's so much happening with football all over the world. So if you cannot make the 11-a-side football on the grass, there are other opportunities, and mini football is one of them, Yemi.
All right, mini football is one of them. All right, let me introduce our guest in the league. We have 2 guests, as a matter of fact, but we're starting with one. Now, Davis ADEWOYE joins us on the show. He is the initiator of mini football in Nigeria, and also is the National General Secretary of Nigeria Mini Football Association. Davis, greetings to you. Good evening, and thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much. My name is Davis ADEWOYE, as you just said, and I'm highly thank you for having me here. All
right. I know you will help us on the show a lot tonight, and help us correct a lot of misconceptions. I mean, when you hear mini football, there's a tendency to just misconstrue and say maybe it's just 5-a-side. So is there any difference? Is it futsal? Is it what makes it different?
Okay, thank you very much. I think right now I can put a little light on that. Mini football is has a little similarity with futsal, because futsal is an indoor game, while mini football is an outdoor game. Futsal, when you're throwing, you have to put the ball down, and you have to throw. But mini football, you have to put the ball. There's no, you just kick and do the whole thing, on and on like that. And same size, anyways, same size. And the governing body of mini football is quite different from futsal. World Mini Football Federation is the governing body of
separate from FIFA.
From FIFA.
Okay.
World Mini Football Federation, and the headquarters is in Czech Republic, and they've been in existence since 2018. Though the whole thing has been coming up, short-sided game had been in existence for quite a long time, but when it comes to being like a professional thing, like it has to go AWOL all of a sudden, was in 2018.
Take us through history, because when I was young, I remember Japan 93, a variation of this, what you're saying now. I remember because it was an under-17 tournament and they weren't throwing, they were kicking.
Absolutely.
Japan 93, that's why I remember. Yeah. And so, has this been around for a long time? I also asked you before we came on set if mini football, the organizers, are talking with IFAB and all. You answered all of those questions. So, how long have they been around? Because for some of us, we've been doing these things, but to now know that there's an organization that is behind it, that is organizing all of these things, it might be coming as a bit of a surprise to many.
Well, thank you very much. Let me put it this way. World Mini Football Federation is really working towards IFAB, and I'm pretty sure in the next couple of years you'll see a whole lot. Because I can tell you authoritatively right now, the fastest growing amateur sport in the whole wide world at the moment is mini football. And we're trying to because the maiden edition of this mini football in Africa, Nigeria participated in Tripoli, Libya. In fact, that was the reason why FIFA had to reconsider Libya into FIFA. Because we had the competition without any
support
issues.
All right.
And I can tell you now that mini football has been in existence for quite a long time, like I said initially. But the only thing is they're trying to put a whole lot of onions into it to make it look juicy. Now, in North Africa, there have been transfer of players right now as we speak. It's fast growing in North Africa. Egypt they were in Nigeria to 2021 because Nigeria hosted the second edition of Africa Mini Football Nations Cup, and it was hosted in Oyo State.
Okay. All right. Well, my colleague Austin obviously asked a question. Obviously, we want some misconceptions corrected as well.
Okay.
Yeah, David, good to have you on the show. I've been doing a lot of research about mini football. I think the first time that we properly had a conversation about this in Nigeria was in 2015. And I like that we're having the conversation again. The 2021 edition, as you mentioned, Egypt busted. North Africa seems to be doing so well with mini football. What are the things they are doing that we can emulate in Nigeria?
Can you please come again?
So what are the things that those other nations, especially in North Africa, that they're doing that we can emulate in Nigeria?
Oh, that's the league. In North Africa, the league is superb. And that had been the reason why they were so superb in 2021 when Nigeria hosted the Nations Cup. That had been the most decorated, the most explosive Nations Cup that had ever happened in Africa. Nigeria 2021. So it is the league. And we are really, by the time we return back from South Africa, that is one thing we really want. And thank God that we have a whole lot of able hands, great men, great guys that are really coming on board, that really want to support. Because when we went for the maiden edition in Tripoli, Libya, 2018, what we garnered from there made it explosive and made some people to really appreciate us and came on board to host the second edition of Africa Mini Football Nations Cup in 2021. So our success, historical moment that we had then, made a whole lot of people right now as we speak to want to be involved with what is going on. So coming back from South Africa is going to be explosive. We are here to complement, not to compete.
Not to compete. All right, let me just throw this in quickly before we take a look at. Let's talk about the Super Spartan now. Super Spartan Eagles.
Absolutely.
Yeah, following in line with the Eagles, they want to compete in the third edition of the competition.
Absolutely.
You talk about. So quickly talk about. I hear they're going to be in Johannesburg, South Africa. So what's going to take them there? What's the preparation like?
Now, we are at the teaching stage of the association. I'm using this opportunity to speak all out to government organization, and even private sectors to come on board to support, because we are not doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for Nigeria. Country. And South Africa really respects Nigeria so much, they can't just afford to lose Nigeria in that competition. And we've been doing all our possible best to ensure that we garner a whole lot of things. In the next couple of days, we want to keep the national team in the camp for a couple of weeks before we embark on the journey. And we are hopeful that Nigerians will come on board to support us,
the team,
because they have been supporting us.
All right. Let me quickly go across the screen just to amplify what Davies has talked about, the groups and the other participating countries. We'll come back to talk about what is on offer if Nigeria is able to scale through this, the next level for Nigeria. But let me go across in a bit and just quickly look at it in Group A. Of course, you have South Africa, where everybody will gather. South Africa, Nigeria, Mauritius, and Mauritania in Group A. Let's flip quickly and go to Group B, where you have Libya, Tunisia, Burkina Faso, and DR Congo. And in Group C, you have Cote d'Ivoire, Zambia, and of course, Somalia and Chad. Then, of course, you go to Group C, Group D, I beg your pardon, Egypt, Ghana, Morocco, and Lesotho. These are the teams, countries, I beg your pardon, that will be in that Africa Mini Football Nations Cup. All right. So let me just quickly ask you. Hopefully, you get the support that you want. The top teams to qualify. Do you think Nigeria can get to be one of the top teams?
I can say authoritatively, since the maiden edition of African Mini Football Nations Cup, Nigeria had ever been qualified for the World Cup. When we participated in the maiden edition at Tripoli, Libya, we qualified to participate in the second edition of WMF World Cup in Perth, Australia. A paucity of funds could not make us to be there. Then we hosted the second edition in 2021, qualified for the fourth edition in UAE, Ras Kamal in United Arab Emirates. But the issue of the visa between Nigeria and we couldn't participate. Now, where the top 5 is going to qualify for the next World Cup in Baku, Azerbaijan.
Correct.
And the president, the president of the Federal Republic of Azerbaijan is somebody that really appreciates and supporting mini football. So it's going to be wow.
Okay.
There.
All right. I guess that's the much we can take. I want to thank you for your time. Hopefully, we'll bring you some other time to talk about all of these.
Definitely, we're ready.
All the best to of course, the team representing Nigeria. We need to go.